We're in a moment of technological acceleration unlike anything the world has seen before. 5 years from now, life will look radically different, and the shift is already underway. I'm Rachel Wilkins, and this is The Good News Is, a show about what's next and how to meet it with curiosity. Each week, I'll talk with the thinkers and builders that are shaping the future, from the evolution of money to digital land, on-chain fashion, and even space travel. Let's get into it. Well, we are here live in Paris, and what a treat we have today. Luca Netz from, of course, Pudgy Penguins. So big hello. We're getting some exclusive alpha today, but we're going to get to that in just a second. Before we do, Luca, I mean, everybody knows what about Pudgies and about your journey, but I think in case we've got any new listeners, tell us a little bit about your kind of intro into Web3.
Yeah, I fell in love with collecting NFTs in 2021. And Pudgy Penguins was actually my first PFP that I ever purchased. And so, fast forward 6 months later, the opportunity came around to buy the project. We bought it almost 2 years ago. And the idea is how do you build, Web3's first ever breakthrough mass market brand? We've been doing that and working towards that vision for the last almost 2 years now. And so far, so good.
Give me like your highlights, your top level experiences that you've had in Web3 in the last kind of 2 years.
Highlights would be buying the project, taking it over, getting the toys into Walmart, launching the toys, launching Overpass, which was our licensing platform. We saw huge milestones on people who scanned the QR code on Pudgy World, crossing 50,000 people who scanned the QR code was impactful. $10 million in sales on the toy line. Selling out in Amazon, I think, was a huge needle mover for us. Going back into Walmart, right? It's one thing to get invited to the party. It's another thing to get invited back. Obviously, seeing the community win and all the success that they've seen. When we came into this, we knew that we had the opportunity that if we did our job, we could impact, thousands of people's lives. And I think we've done that up until this point. We will continue to do that. So it's been an amazing ride. And actually some of the bad things, like kind of like what Sandy mentioned, FTX contagion, trying to raise money for 6 months, getting 250 people to tell us no. Those things really sucked in hindsight, but I think made us who we are today.
I think the fact that we're sitting here with just amazing success stories in Web3 after a year that was pretty brutal, let's be honest, that right after FTX, what was November 2021, 2022, and then we had this brutal 2023 where there was just so much drama in the space, so many rugs, people just really suffering, leaving the space. But just a testament to the two builders that we have here who kind of stuck it out and came out with amazing success stories. I love that you talked about your community, Luca, because just last week we saw Pudgies flip the floor price of Bored Ape Yacht Club. First of all, congratulations. And I love that we have a Pudgy. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. That's a huge milestone. I think it's great that we finally have somebody who's actually competing and in competition is healthy. It's a good thing for the entire space. What did that moment mean to you? And more importantly, what does that mean to you as somebody who is leading a community of human beings that benefited from that moment?
Yeah, I'm really happy for them, and the enjoyment and the excitement came, for what they were feeling. But at the end of the day, that's not the business that we're in. Like, we're in the business of breaking boundaries, pushing barriers, and or breaking barriers and pushing boundaries. And those things are really short-term milestones, and maybe I will feel the impact when that happens and we hold that position for 6 months. But you can't control. All we can do is show up every day and give it our best. And that's what we're continuing to do.
Amazing. I love that you're focusing on removing friction, because I think that's been our biggest barrier to entry for so many people is, well, you mentioned two things, the rugging, right?
Yep.
So safety, but then the friction of like trying to set up a wall and trying to do this and that and all these different steps. So I love that. Now, is this exclusively for Pudgy holders, Pudgy? How does this work?
It's for everyone. I think, being a Pudgy Penguin or being a part of the Pudgy community, I think is not just subjugated to, owning our NFT ecosystem. I think our toys are a testament to that. We want to be the identity layer for crypto. We want to be the face of crypto. We want to be the face of Web3. And that entails a ton of different facets. And I think what Unstoppable is providing for us on the .pudgy side is really just an extra layer of depth and maybe a easier entry point for other people to start getting familiar with what it is to be a Pudgy and what it means to be a penguin. And, it kind of just supersedes maybe some of the things that she mentioned. We have Pudgy World. And so, actually creating an easy all-in-one encompassing address that you can kind of plug in and, log in without any of the headache of maybe an email and a password and things like that. It's a great partnership, and I love what they're doing over there. They're huge supporters of ours. We're huge supporters of them, and this partnership makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad we finally got to release it here.
So let me ask you, uncapped resources, imagination, take yourself 5 years forward. What would Pudgy Penguins look like?
Pudgy Penguins is the premier brand of Ethereum. It's a legacy brand in the real world. We have movies and TV shows and toys and board games and TCG cards and the rest of the line. Your friends and family know what it is. They might not know what a crypto is, or they might have, missed that, but they understand the Penguins. And we're just a brand that has, I think, really broken through into the mainstream and ultimately created the roadmap for others to follow. I believe what Pudgy Penguins is doing is super impactful, not only because of its direct impact, but also its indirect impact. And so you're seeing a bunch of other companies in the space, making toys, making products, making social content. The growth of just IP and Web3 predicated on what we've done and people following what we've done has, I think, completely shifted the paradigm of this industry. And so, we will continue to lead. We will continue to set the playbook, and we hope others follow in our footsteps.
How, obviously, blockchain is a huge part of both of the businesses that you founded. How important is other new technology when we look at things like AR and VR? Apple bringing out the amazing Vision Pro a couple of weeks ago. We're looking at a surge in generative AI. Like, how much of a conversation is that in the businesses that you're both building?
Yeah, it's everything. To not believe that the digital revolution is happening and that this is all going to be digitized is to not pay attention to what's going on around you. And, I think what our two companies are doing, I think, are solving, what some of the most important problems that might not be so obvious today, but will be incredibly obvious 5 to 10 years from now, and really setting the foundation to do that. And so, being able, in a world where everyone has these headsets and, spending 12 hours on the phone, which I think most of us already do, having some sort of identity layer on the TLD side, with .pudgy is huge. Just for communication and simplicity, and really abstracting the complexities of the blockchain layer. From the Pudgy Penguin side, it's like you need something that's not intimidating, non-taboo, that people can resonate with and that people can understand. And so you have these, and same with them, like you need to be able to understand addresses and being able to communicate in a way that is familiar. We all know domains. Domains are very typical to our brains up until this point, but we don't know these long abbreviated 50, 30 numbers and letters. So I think our focus is how do we make it easy for the regular person? Because though the people listening might understand, the masses won't. And I think we're setting the foundation to onboard those people seamlessly when that time comes, which if Apple's Vision Pro is any indication, that time is coming, and it's coming quickly.
Yep. Any final thoughts? Anything that you want to make sure people know about this collaboration? How can they get involved? How can they participate?
Go to Unstoppable and get your .pudgy. Feel the Pudgy love and feel what it's like to be a part of our community. It's a great first step.
Thank you for your deep contributions to this incredible ecosystem that we're building. And thanks for sitting down with me in Paris as part of the Rug Radio Decrypt ecosystem. Thanks for tuning in to The Good News Is. If you're excited about what's next, make sure to follow the show and visit goodnewsstudio.io for more stories, guests, and ways to stay connected. Until next time, stay curious.